Hello there. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create your own custom pony avatars for VR chat using SDK3. Now, this tutorial is aimed at beginners, so you don't need any experience with 3D modeling software such as Blender or any experience with Unity or game development or programming. So anyone can do this. All you need to do is just follow the steps one step at a time. There are quite a lot of steps to it, but don't worry, just do it nice and slowly, and if anything goes wrong, just rewatch it and retrace your steps. So yeah, anyone can do this. So let's get straight into it. Okay, there are three main stages to creating your own custom pony avatar. First, we have step one. We use the pony creator to actually generate our pony model. So this is probably the funnest step, and we start with it, and you get to create your own custom pony. You get to add accessories, add wings, change colors, and etc. And it's just a fun little tool, and we use that to generate our custom pony. Step two, we use Blender to prepare the model for VR chat. So we make sure that everything's optimized and everything all works nicely with VR chat. And third, we use Unity to actually integrate the model into SDK3 to make sure that everything's set up, and we can upload it to VR chat. So we do all that in step three. So let's move on to step one. Okay, so we're just going to create our own custom pony. So we're on ponylumen.net. So this is going to create our base model, and this is where we get to do all the customization. So you can left click in here and drag it around, and here we have all the options that we can play around with. Now there's only one thing to take note of. Now how we get a pony model into VR chat, we use what's called a base model, and that's all set up and rigged and ready to go. Now it's based on some of these default models here. So the one that I've got at the moment, which I've modified, is for the female model, and you just have to leave this setting here. Like, you can change between what type of model you want. It needs to be this female model here, and leave these settings here: the height, weight, head size, animation speed, all of this, leave this as it is, and the rest of it should work no problem. So first let's change the colors a bit. So you can click these boxes here and you can change the colors to something interesting, like blue. Blue's one of my favorite colors, so let's go blue. Yeah, blue. And you can select different patterns as well. So fun one you can have is had socks. or you can add little patterns to the pony. So ones we've got. So change the hooves. Yeah, I'm going to go with the socks for this one. So socks, and we'll change these colors. Okay, that's quite fun. You can add a horn on here if you want. So there's a normal horn, or you can have an alicorn horn, or you can have a chrysalis horn. Now, one thing to bear in mind, I recommend you make this first one that you're doing fairly simple. Otherwise, the more things you add to this, it will make the pony more complicated as you make it. So I'm not going to go with a horn, but we'll add some wings. There we go. We'll change the color to. If you ever need to cut, have the same color, just double left click and then right click, copy, and then double click, right click, paste, enter, and then that will put it to the same color. There we go, we've got wings now. Now you can adjust the wing size here as well. I'd say the defaults are fairly good. Now you can add custom cutie marks on this, but I've found that it doesn't work with generating the object file. So what you need to do is, if you do want a custom cutie mark, I would say select one of these default ones, and then you can edit the texture later. So let's assume that we do want one. I'm gonna put twilights on there, so there you can see the twilight cutie mark is there on the flank. Okay, let's move on to the ears and eyes. I have normal ears. Once again, I like having blue things. So eyes don't mess with the size or the pose. Just leave them as they are. Just change the colors. eyelashes you can change. So normal eyelashes there. Mane and tail. Let's see, what sort of color do we want? Yeah, blue's pretty cool. Just copy that into there. Same with that. I'll do the same for the tail. Copy, paste. Now remember, you can spend as much time on this as you want to get it right. I'm just trying to make this fairly quick for you guys. You can change the size of the tail as well. It's looking pretty good. I like that. Accessories. You can add all these different accessories to your pony, but as I said before, like the more of these extras that you add, it will make the process a little bit longer, because you have to connect each of the accessories to the model. So, have a monocle. An eye patch. Shades. Glasses. I like the eye patch. Eye patch is cool. Maybe a dark blue would look better. That was pretty good. I think you can put rings and things there. Yeah, you can put like rings on the hooves. Yeah, there's some fun stuff on this creator. Like the abdomen. Okay, what else have we got? Yeah, don't worry about face options. Stickers, you can add little stickers to it if you want to, but we'll keep things simple for now. Light, we don't need to do anything with that. We don't need to do anything with pose. Yeah, extra as well. So that's all the things you really need to play with. Like, if you're not sure whether you can play with something, don't. Just make something simple. So that was pretty good. Unsave. Okay, now we want to generate our 3D model file. So you want to click download 3D model, and you want an object file. So download 3D model, and then save it to, I'd suggest create a folder for where you're making this pony so you can keep things organized. So save this. I'll create a folder for step 1. And this will give us a pony.zip file, and that has all our object information in it. Right, on to step 2. Okay, if you've never used Blender before, Blender is a 3D modeling program. Now, at the time of making, the latest version is 2.9, but if you've got Blender 2.8 or above, the steps should be more or less identical. So let's go to blender.org if you don't already have it installed, download and get the installer for your computer. Save that. Save. Yeah, that's because I downloaded it earlier. Right, and once you're done installing that, we'll open Blender. Okay, once you've got Blender installed, you want to double click on the icon on your desktop and get it started. And here we go. Now, if it's your first time installing this, you may be given an option for left click or right click for how you want to select things. Now, I have it set to right click, so when I'm saying right click, if you've got it set it the other way, it's going to confuse you. So I suggest you set it to right click. So what we want to do is open our base file. Okay, you can see here I've created folders for every step of this process. So inside the _blender, I've got the pony base file. Now the link for this file is in the description for the video. It's I've put it on my Google Drive, so just download it from there. You can either double click on the file or you can open it from within Blender. So double click. And here we go. So anyway, welcome to Blender. If you've never used 3D modeling software before, this can be a little bit intimidating because of the sheer amount of buttons and information. So let's start with the basics. In here you can see I've been moving this about. What I'm doing is I'm pressing the mouse wheel or the middle mouse button, and it allows you to move the camera around. And if you want to move in closer, you use the mouse wheel and scroll it up, scroll it down. You can zoom in and out. Now, as I said before, you can set blenders to left or right click. Mine's set to right click. So if you left click, it will change the 3D cursor. That's this little round red and white thing. And if you right click on things, it selects different parts of the model. Now, if you want to pan around, what you need to do is hold shift and use the middle mouse button. And then if you use the middle mouse button again, it will look around where you pan to. Now, if you want to get back to your model, just right click on it, and then what you want to press is, wrong one. You want to press the full stop or period button on the numpad. So the button right next to the 0. And that will refocus the camera. So that's just bare basics. Pan, shift, and middle mouse button. If you want to rotate it round, middle mouse button. If you want to refocus the camera, right click on what you want to focus on and the full stop on the numpad, and that will go back in. And then we can rotate around again. Okay, first of all, what you need to pay attention to is this box in the top right. This is called the outliner. This shows us everything that's in our 3D scene. And right now we have what's called armature. This is the 3D model that we've got. So the body's the actual model, and armature is this weird looking contraption, and this maps to the VR chat like the 3D rig, which maps where the head is and everything. So if I just right click on there, pose mode, and see, as I move this, this was called a rig, so this allows it to move the 3D model about. So this will be mapped to your head in VR chat. So this is all set up, ready to go. What we need to do is import our pony that we've just created. So go to File, Import, and then you want to select Wavefront OBJ for object, and then you want to go up out of 2 into your pony folder, step 1, pony, and in here you want to import all of these except tongue, teeth, pony, and left eye and right eye, because those are all integrated into our model there. You can see the eyes are there, and the teeth and the tongue will be in the mouth, and pony is the body of the pony itself. So you don't need to do those. So we'll start from the top. Eyelashes, import OBJ. You see here they are. Right here, those are the eyelashes. Don't worry that they're not in the right position yet. We'll fix that in a second. We want to import everything first. So, file, import, OBJ, glasses, that's the eye patch. File, import, OBJ. Have fun. File, import, OBJ. Don't want the left eye, left wing. File. Don't want pony, because it's already there. We don't want right eye, because it's already part of the base model. Right wing. File, import, OBJ. Tail, we want that. And then there's just teeth and tongue left, so that's good. You can see my cursor here has changed to 0000. That's usually for loading things. So it's probably just trying to figure out its life right now. Okay. So we've got all our bits imported now. So how do we reposition them? What we need to do is up in the top right. I'm just gonna left click and drag to expand this section here. So you can see all the things we've imported have imported below our armature right here. So left click on this part here and it selects them, and right click does the normal things. So what we want to do is start from the bottom, left click and hold control, and then click the next thing. You want to do that for them. Left click, left click, left click. So you're holding control. So we've got them all selected. And you see here they've all become highlighted orange. Now we want to move all of this back because they're just offset a little bit. They're all imported in more or less the right position. It just needs to be adjusted a little. So to move them back, you want to press G, and then you want to press Y. Now you can see here, like at the bottom, this line's become highlighted, the green line, and that means it's just locked it to the Y-axis. So don't worry about these details, but if you move the mouse along this line, you see it's locked. So we just need to move this to where it looks about right. So you can see it's going through the model there. So we just move it forward a bit. Around. So there looks good. So middle mouse button, rotate. This might take a little bit of trial and error. This armature's not helping, so let's go up here, the armature there. See on the right there are these little eyes. If you ever want to hide or get things out of the way, just click the eye and it will make it disappear. So you can see there I've hidden the rig, or armature, which is called armature. So that just makes it easy to see. So let's have a look. Looks pretty good to me. There we go. That's good. Okay, so it's looking alright, but you can see everything's a bit blocky. So what we need to do is we need to tell Blender to make these bits look nice and smooth like the model. So what we need to do is right click on them, press W, and this brings up the context menu, and you want to select the shade smooth. So if I press period on the numpad, that will focus on my hair, and you can see it's gone nice and smooth now. So we just want to do this for all our things. So easy way to do this, just start from the bottom, left click on in the outline here, so tail, W, make sure you're in this window for the context menu. If you press W in here it won't work, or here, right, you can see all these windows, shortcuts. If your mouse is in these areas it will do different things, so make sure you're in this area here, which is called the 3D viewport. So tail, make sure your cursor's there and press W, shade smooth. We're up to the next one, right wing. There it is, cursor's here, W, shade smooth. Left wing, I'm just going to rotate using the middle mouse button. See that? And W, shade smooth. Hair front, we've already done that one. Hair back, see it there. Middle mouse button to rotate again. I'm just doing this so you can see what I'm doing. Press W, shade smooth. Glasses, shade smooth. Eyelashes, shade smooth. And there we go, things are starting to look a lot nicer now. Nice. Okay, now we have our nice smooth porcelain looking pony. But this is no good. We want our colors. We want it to look nice. So let's start by putting colors on things. So first of all, up here in the outliner, make sure you're left clicking and note you have body selected, and we're going to put the colors on. So just here, you want to select this tab here, which looks like a red ball with like patches on it. And see here, we have a number of these are materials, and you want to select the pony one here at the bottom. Now you need to scroll down here and you want to look for texture. There we go, MMD texture, and press add. Okay, now we're in our 2_blender folder. Now we want to go up. I want to go to our pony folder where we saved our pony from the pony creator. Into the pony folder, and we want pony.png. This is our texture. So the pony creator creates an object file and a PNG file. So the object's the 3D part, and the PNG's the colors and the texture that goes on it. So double click on that, and now you'll see that we have color on our pony, but it's still not complete. There are still things which aren't colored right. Let's work our way through the body, and then we'll work on the hair and that. So back here on the right, scroll up. Okay, let's do these eyes. So left eye, left click on this and scroll back down, and you want MMD texture, add, and we want left eye.png. And there you see that our eye's been filled in. Now you shall do it the same with the right eye. MMD texture, add, right eye.png. And if our eye patch was not in the way, hang on, let's get rid of it. Remember, it's called glasses, but it is the eye patch, so we'll just hide that by left clicking on the eye. You see that the left eye is also colored. So we'll make that visible again. Make sure you left click on body. And we want to go up. And we'll do the tongue. Tongue.png. And that does the tongue. And teeth. Texture, add, and teeth.png, double click. And they're done. Okay. Now this is just the body up here that we've done. So they're all done. What we need to do is all the ones here that we haven't done yet. So we'll start with tail. You see as I've clicked that, there is a blank material in here. And this is changed from the list that was on body. So there's the body's materials. And there's the tail's materials. So there's just one on there. So we just need the single material for it. MMD texture add, and we want tail.png. And there's our tail. Now we'll do right wing. And see what I mean, like this can be a bit overwhelming, but a lot of the stages are the same. There's just a lot of stages. So right wing, there we go, right wing's done. And as long as you work methodically through this, you can you can do this. Like, don't be intimidated by this. This gets easier and easier. So left wing, once again, same. It only has one material. And then we want to go to MMD texture, add, and left wing. Left wing.png. There we go. There the wings. Hair front. And as I said before, just work your way methodically through this list. So we're on the hair front that we want. Hair front.png. There's hair front. And then hair back, texture add, hair back.png, hair back, edit, glasses, texture add, glasses.png, our eye patch. There we go. Eyelashes. Texture add. Eyelashes.png. There we go. And it's starting to look more like our generated pony on the pony maker. It's a bit shiny now, but don't worry, this is just because of the shaders that are in Unity. We'll set all the exact parameters in Unity, and it will look a little different. And there we go. Our pony's almost there. Now all we need to do is combine these into one mesh, and we'll get it set up. Okay, so what we're going to do next is all these extra bits. We are going to link it to this this rig here, so that when the rig moves, everything else will move. So right now it's just connected to the pony. If I put it in pose mode, like before, we moved the head, so I'm just gonna move the head again, and you'll notice that that thing there. My god, that's gonna give you nightmares. Apologies, but you see what I mean. Just the head is moving. The rest I'm really sorry. I'm getting sidetracked here. I am trying to demonstrate things for you, and I'm just being silly. But yes, you see here that the hair and the rest of our things don't move if we move this. It just stays there. So we need to attach all these components to the rig so it works in VR chat. So how you do this is once again, start from here, work your way up. So left click, hold control, left click, left click, left click, left click, left click, left click. And then what you need to do is left click and drag all these into collection 1. There we go. And then after you've done that, make sure they're all selected again, and then hold Control again and left click the armature. Then cursor over here, Control P. It's P for potato, and set parent to object. And you'll see that they all shift over one to the right, so they should all be below armature like this now. What this is for the hierarchy of this rig. So what we need to do next is start at the bottom, and we need to add modifiers to all these to tell it to link to the rig. So start with tail, add modifier, and you want armature deform. So armature. Then here, left click object and armature. This is just linking this modifier to the armature itself. And then you just need to do this for all of these. So work our way up, left click right wing, add modifier, armature, object left click, armature, left wing, add modifier, armature, object, armature. And once again, it's the same process each time. So it's just being methodical about this. This is why I say anyone can do this. It's just going by step. Add modifier, armature, left click on object, armature, eyelashes, add modifier, armature, object left click, armature. There we go. They are all linked to the rig now, but we need to be a little bit more in depth to get this to work right. So we need to do what's called weight painting, so we know how much it needs to move when the rig moves. So we'll get onto that next. Okay, so what we're going to do now is the weight painting for the hair. So what we need to do is on the armature, sure it's left clicked. Nope, my bad, it's right click. Then what you want to do is down here, left click and get into pose mode. Now in pose mode, you want to, there we go, that's the one that we need. Want to right click that, so you can select each of these by right clicking. You want to right click this one here, which is the head one. So if I go into here, you see here that the head is selected in there if you want to double check, but for the most part it's that big one there right in the middle of the head. So I'm just going to minimize that, left click. So I've got that selected. Then left click here, object mode. Now we want to select the hair front. And then down here again, left click, and we want to be in weight paint mode. Next, you want to press V. This will show all these vertices. And then you want to press Shift and K. And it should turn red. That means that all of these little dots, the little dots are called vertices, by the way. And they're all the individual parts that make up a model. So that's weight painted all of this so that when the head bone moves, this will move with it. So if you press tab, that gets out of R mode and back into edit mode. So I'm just going to click on the armature. And then we're going to go into pose mode and make sure the head one is selected now and rotate. You see the top bit of hair will now move with it. And what we need to do is we need to weight paint all these extra bits, the wings, the back hair, to make sure that they all move when the rig moves. So next we'll right click on the hair back here, and we want to go down here, weight paint, and press V. That's V for victory, and then Shift K, K for kilometer, so it goes red. So that's weight painted now as well. So object mode, and then I'll just go to demonstrate this one more time. So right click on the armature, left click down here, pose mode, and then right click on the head bone there, and then R, and then if you press Z, X or Y, it locks it to a certain axis. So Z is the blue line, and that's the Z axis, the Z axis. It locks it there. And rotate R, and yeah, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So R, and then press X, and then see it locks it to that red X-axis, and R and Y, the green axis. So you see the hair is actually moving with the head now. Okay, now I'm just going to speed through the rest of this. This is exactly the same for all the other parts. So work from the bottom and work your way up. So tail. This one needs to be paired to a different bone. So we don't want the tail moving left or right when you look to the right or the left with the head. So we need to select this bone here. Oh wait, no, there we go. That's the bone we want. So it's this one just here, just between the two leg bones here. So that's selected. You can press tab to get into edit mode. By the way, I'm switching on these instead of just clicking all the time. So tail, left click, weight paint, V to select the vertices, and then Shift K to weight paint them. They're all red. That is done. Tab, object mode, right wing. We're doing that one now. Using the middle mouse button to rotate round. And then we want to go into weight paint because it's still needs to be this one because it's the body bone, which is what everything will move with. So weight paint, V for victory, and Shift K should go red. There we go. Tab to get out of it. Object mode, left wing, weight paint, V, Shift K, object mode, hair front, we've done that, hair back, we've done that, glasses, we haven't done that. So this, because it's on the head, will need to be done to the head bone again. So right click on the armature, go to pose mode, and we want to select the head bone, that. Go back to object mode, then back to glasses, and then we want weight paint. Oh, there we go. V for victory, Shift K, goes red, weight painted. Back to object mode, eyelashes, and we want to weight paint them. Once again, they're going to the head. Just each of these, just have a little think what it needs to be weight painted to. If it's something that goes on the head, then it needs to be done to the head bone. If it needs to be attached to the body itself, then it's to the body bone down here. So eyelashes, we're in weight paint mode, but they're a little small there. If I just scroll in with the mouse wheel, V for victory, Shift K, those should be weight painted, and then back to object mode. And there we go. Now that is all of our things weight painted. Now, once again, let's just have a little check to make sure. So, going to right click on the armature. So it's selected. Then go into pose mode. Left click here, pose mode. Now, let's rotate the head. So press R and then Z, and then do that. There we go, the eyelashes and that eye patch seem to be working very nicely. Yes, yes, it is. See, the model's nodding in agreement with me. So that looks good. And let's grab this one down here to make sure that the wings and the tail all move as well. So you see this all moves as one. See that this is where everything, you see these dashed lines, this means it's parented to it. So that bone, if I do that, that is the parent bone. So if that moves, everything else moves with it. That's why it's moving as everything. So everything is nicely attached to the rig now. Okay, so next thing we are going to do is we're going to save this. Now this is where I personally split the files. So I've got this saved as the first file. I split them into two files. I have this file which is all separated, so if I want to make any changes I've got this, but the file that actually goes into VR chat is like a merged file so that it's better for performance. So we'll save this as a separate file and work on that. Just name this _VR. Save as. And see up here we're working in the copy of our blend file now. So now we can start making this optimized for VR chat. So how do we do that? Well, first thing you need to do is install the Cats plugin. So I've got the link for the Cats plugin in the description for the video. Now to install it, what you need to do is go into here, into the edit, and then into preferences. Then you need to click add-ons. And then I've already got this installed. I'm just going over this with you so that you can do it. And up here, install. And then you need to navigate to where your Cats file is. So there we go, there's my one. So if you just click on that, then install add-on, and then that will install the Cats plugin. And here in the add-ons, make sure that the checkbox is checked. Then you can click refresh. Now if things don't work from here on, it might be good to just restart Blender and just reopen this file and it should appear. So let's get the Cats thing up. So before we get that, actually we need to join all these meshes together. So see these triangles, that stands for a mesh. Like if I click here and tab, see how it looks like a mesh of things. This is just how the model is put together with these vertices. Little dots are called vertices, and then collectively it's called a mesh. And then once you put the colors, the texture over it, then it becomes a model. So we are going to merge these meshes together so that it's just a single mesh. So start here, left click, and then control, left click again, all the way up, and you want to left click body as well. Then what you want to do is here in the 3D viewport, Control J, that's J for Jenga, and then you see all of those meshes have all disappeared now. They have all been joined into one glorious whole. And if I tab, they're all included in it now. They were just highlighted then, all the ones I've just added. You can see there, all of the meshes are now one. So tab to get out of that. And now what we're going to do is what's called a material atlas. We're going to combine, like if we go down here to the material properties window and scroll to the top, you can see there's a lot of materials here. So we've got the eyes, the teeth, the tongue. What a material atlas is we combine all of these into one single image file or texture, and then it does it for all of them, so we don't need to load multiple materials. This once again helps with performance. So to do this, make sure your CATS plugin has been installed, and in the 3D viewport press the N key, that's N for November, and you should have the CATS tab here. So I'll just move this out a bit, and what you need to do is go down to here to optimization, and you want to select Atlas. If this isn't apparent, it might say you need to install the material add-on for Python. Just follow the instructions for that. It's really easy, and you might need to restart Blender. Well, once you've installed that little add-on and restarted Blender, you should have this. And what we need to do is save Atlas to, and then it won't give you a option to give it a name, I don't think. No, it doesn't give you an option. Just click Create Atlas, and you see here, oh, there we go. You saw there for a second a load of materials appeared. That was the going to this this mesh and looking at all the materials and then combining them. So there we go. If I go into here, you can see all those materials that we had loads have now been combined into the material atlas. So it's a single texture now. So what we'll do next is we'll export this this model to an object file. No, not an objects file. It's a FBX file. That's it, FBX file, and that should be good. So let's do it. Control S to save, and then we shall click here and file. Actually, let's make sure your armature's selected here in the outliner, and then same again. File, export, and we want an FBX file. There we go, FBX. Left click that. then pony underscore base SDK3 underscore VR. So we'll export that as that. Now you don't need a lot of these. These are the things from your scene that it'll export. So what you need to select is armature and mesh. So if you hold shift and press left click, that will allow you to select these two. So left click and then shift and left click, armature and mesh. That's all you need there. The rest of this, just leave it as it is and then export FBX. And that is stage 2 complete. Now we'll move on to step 3 and we'll get to know Unity. Okay, next we're going to import our pony model into Unity. Now, before we get started with Unity, the first thing you've got to know is you need to get the versions correct for Unity. So if you go to the VR chat documents webpage, which is docs.vrchat.com, you'll see down here under guides it says currently supported Unity version. So if you click on that, and here you can see is the version of Unity which VR chat is using. Now this version changes quite often, usually a few times a year, so before you make a new avatar, just make sure you double check that you're using the right version of Unity. So install Unity for whatever version it indicates and follow the instructions on the VRChat documentation website. And while we're at this, I'm just going to click back. We also need the SDK. So if you click choosing your SDK, now this page here tells you all the information about SDK 2 and 3. So to cut a long story short, for the most part, SDK2 has been go to SDK, and SDK3 is the new kid on the block, and it's what the development team are now moving on to. And the reason I'm making this tutorial is because there's not much point in learning the old 2 SDK anymore. Because if you scroll down here, where this big yellow box is, it says here that SDK2 is deprecated. It will not receive most/any of the new features available in SDK3 worlds or avatars. It will still receive important security and maintenance patches. So basically anything new that's quite interesting and fun will only work with SDK3 avatars. So the way I see it, you might as well just use the new SDK and learn how to do avatars with the new one, so you can do more fun things. So to download the SDK, you see this link here. Both of these SDKs are available on our website. Click that. You'll need a a VR chat log on, so I'll just log on with mine. And down here on the right, there's an SDK3 for worlds and an SDK3 for avatars. So you just want to download the SDK3 for avatars and then save that into and we'll save that into Unity and download that. Okay, I've just started Unity here, so what we want to do is create a new project, so new, and we'll call this SDK3 underscore pony. I'll just put tutorial just to keep things nice and consistent with my my documents and things, so I don't get things messed up. Okay, and you want to make sure that 3D is checked, and then we'll press create project. This can take a minute or two to set up, so just chill until it loads. Okay, and we're here in Unity now. As you can see in the middle here, there's a fairly familiar 3D type viewport, which is a little bit different, but I'll get into that in a second. What we need to do first is import the SDK and the shader that we're going to be using. So go to your folders where you've got everything set up. So here are my folders, and I'm going to go into Unity. Now, once again, you can get SDK3 from the VR chat website, like I just showed you, and I've got a link for the Poyomi Toon shader in the video description, so just download that. Now, to import these Unity packages, all you have to do is just drag and drop them into Unity. So I'm going to start with the SDK3, left click, drag, and drop into the assets box down here. Now you'll see this box comes up. Just don't worry about it. Just down the bottom right, just click import. This is all the inner workings of VR chat that we'll need to upload our avatar. It will take a minute to sort its life out and do lots of loading bars, so I recommend you go make yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee while this does this, and then come back once it's settled down. Okay, now that seems to have settled down now and done everything. So you can see down here in assets, you can see VRC SDK. That's the SDK things that we'll need. And next we'll import the Poyomi shader. Please ignore my Discord going off. And let's see, that's Poyomi Toon. Same again, left click and drag. Minimize that, fill that in. Then same again, just bottom right and click import. And then just wait a minute for it to import everything it needs to. Okay, so I've imported my SDK3 and the Poyomi shaders. So next we need to import the model itself and the material atlas. So here's our 2_blender folder. We'll import the atlas, so drag and drop. And there's the FBX pony file that we exported, so drag and drop that. Right. Now that we've got them into Unity, what we need to do is just do the import settings. So if you left click on the atlas here and make sure you got the inspector tab open on the right, and you need to scroll down to where it says max size. Now set this to as high as it will go down here, so 8192. Select that, and we'll put this up to high quality as well for the compression, because it just makes that little difference. It takes a little longer to do things, but it'll make things look that little bit nicer. Click apply. Okay, that's applied. Next we need to do the import settings for the model itself. So the model itself is down here. It's pony_SDK_VR. Apologies for my naming conventions. If you can't tell, I'm a very technical person when it comes to these things. So make sure that's selected, and in the top right in the inspector tab here, you want to go to model, and scale you want 0.02, and then scroll down and click apply. Next you want to go to materials, and you want to go down here, and under location you want to select use external materials legacy. Click that, and then click apply. Now the fun part, rig. Now on animation type you want to select humanoid, and then bottom right here you want to select configure. Click save, click apply. Now in this we're just going to set a couple of little settings for the rig that we need to do. So you can see if I use the mouse wheel to scroll in here, we've got our model here. And you can see our armatures overlaid on top of it. What we need to do is just set up things for the hands. So on the right here where it says left hand, left click on that. Now down here where it says thumb proximal, go over here to the right where this little circle is and left click on that. Now in this list that has just appeared, you want to scroll down until you see thumb.l. double left click, and that is set. Now we want to set the index proximal and the middle proximal as well. So we'll do the same for that. So index proximal over here on the right, left click the little circle, and then on here index.l, then middle proximal, go over to the right, left click, and then we want middle.l. Now an error's come up here which says character is not in T-pose. Don't worry about that, we'll fix that in a second. We're just going to do the right hand now. So left click on right hand, and the exact same again. So thumb proximal, but this time we want the right ones. So thumb.r, double left click, index proximal, click the little circle, left click, then we want index index.r, there we go, and then we want middle proximal, left click, middle.r, there you go. And it is easy to get these confused, so you might accidentally put in a left instead of a right. So if you do accidentally do that, it will detect the error. Right middle proximal transform middle.l is not a child of the right hand transform right hand. So you can see we've tried to put a left in the right hand and it has detected that. So just left click on the circle again and just press the right one. So we want middle.r, double left click. There we go. And now we'll fix this T-pose error. So to fix this, you just have to go down here to where it says pose and click enforce T-pose, left click, and the error is gone. Click apply. There we go, and then we just click done. And those are our import settings done for the model file and the material atlas. Next we need to put it in the scene, and we need to set it up for the SDK. So left click here on the pony base model and drag it into the scene hierarchy here and let go. And our models appeared in our scene here. Next, what we need to do is over here on the right, click add component, and in here you want to type VR, and you want to find VRC avatar descriptor and left click. And you can see a little balls appeared on the top of our model, and that's the camera viewport. So that's from where you'll be looking out from when you're playing the game. So we'll set this up. So here and the avatar descriptor component, view position, you want this set to 0, and then Y we want set to 0.8. I'm going press tab, and that needs to be 0.27 NZ. There we go, and you can see the little ball has moved to in between the eyes. Where you need it is just in between the eyes and just inside the model, and that should be correctly positioned for looking out from the model. Okay, next, going down here to lip sync, so left click that and then click the auto detect button, and that will set all the lip syncing automatically. So that's done. Next, we'll minimize that and go into eye look. Left click and click enable. Now what we need to do is these two sliders at the top, we need to set these 2 notches from the right, so there are little notches in how they move, so move them all the way to the right. And I've experimented with this, and it's just how quickly your eyes move about and blink to make it look like it's more alive. So the best I've found is 2 notches from the right on both of them. And obviously you can experiment with these as much as you like, so I just find that this is a little bit better. So here we go, that's set. Now we'll go down, eye transforms, left eye bone. You want to go to the right here and left click the little circle. And you want to select left eye, and right below it the exact same again, and we just want to select the right eye. There we go. Now I'm not going to set those rotation states yet. I'm just going to go right past them to the eyelids. Eyelid type, click blend shapes, then eyelids mesh. You want to click the little circle, left click body, or double left click, and then blink. You want to click that, click blink. Looking up, you want to left click look up, and looking down, left click look down. And these little buttons here on the right are for previewing these different things. You can see here in the scene that it changes with the ones which I've got selected. Okay, next we're going to set up these rotation states. So looking straight, that's exactly as it needs to be, and that's how the avatar is set up, so we don't need to do that. Looking up, if you click preview, you can see these like spheres appear. This is just what allows us to change the position of the eyes. So we want to be looking up, so you see here where this red line is, hover the mouse over that until it highlights, and left click and drag. You can move the eyes. So You don't want to move these too far, by the way. You move them too far and the eyes can actually go back into the mesh. So just a little bit. This is just like idle movement, so you don't actually need to be too specific with the actual values. So looking up, that looks pretty good. Looking down, same again. Grab that red line, left click and drag. And just do that until it looks right. It's pretty good. Looking left. Looking left, we want the green line here. So left click on the green one, just a little bit. You need to recenter the camera, just middle mouse button. Whoops, I've messed up these values. Now, if you mess up, just click on values that you want to change, just put them back to 0 and start again. So, okay, we want to look left, look left. Pretty good. Turn, look right. That looks pretty good. Turn, and we'll just go through them quickly. So, look straight, look up, look down, look left, look right. Fantastic. And we can also preview the, so if you accidentally do that, just left click on the pony again. And then back to the inspector, back to the avatar descriptor, scroll down, and we'll just test the blink, look up and look down. So blink, looking up, and look down. Brilliant. Okay, there are other parts to this, but these are for the more advanced features of SDK3 for animations and expressions and things. So for this tutorial, it's beyond the scope of it, but in future videos I'll go over it. For now, we don't need to do any of that. Everything else as it is should be perfect for what we need. So next we'll just set up the shader. So you want to go over to the hierarchy, click on your pony underscore base model, and then you want to go into body. And you can see here on the right in the inspector, you can see shader here. What you want to do is left click on this, and then go into Poyomi, then tone, advanced, and you want opaque. There we go, and then we press this little arrow. Now this shader is full of features, like you can do a lot with this, but we're just going to do some basic things. So basic emission, I would say set that to set that to a small number, just a little bit, because some worlds are just really dark and not well lit, and this will always make sure that your avatar has a nice look to it, and it isn't overly dark or anything. So yeah, about 0.25 should do this fine. This is also where you can do like lighting effects and things. So there we go, emission glow. If you ever want to do like glowing tattoos, this is where you you put those textures, like the scrolling emission, you put that in there and you can control it with this. But once again, beyond the scope of it, it's a lot of fun to play with these things, but we'll stick to the basics for now. So here we go. I think we're just about ready to upload it to VR chat. Now to upload it to VR chat, what you need to do is up here in the menu, you can see it says VR chat SDK. You left click on that and then click show control panel. Now I've put mine over here on the right, and you will be required to log into it, so just log into it and put it on the right here, then click builder. Now in this it has detection scripts to make sure it can fix any common problems. So top one, avatar contains skin meshes that were imported with blend sheet normals to calculate blah blah blah. But there's a lovely button here that says auto fix. Left click that. Avatar has bitmap textures without streaming bitmaps enabled. Auto fix. Now these errors which are in red are the important ones, and we can usually auto fix these, so don't worry about the triangles. For the most part, these two errors, avatar is too short, it's a pony, it's designed to be a little shorter than a normal avatar, and the angle between the pelvis and thigh bones are a bit close. It is a little close because it's detecting these front legs and it's thinking they're human legs, so it's going to be detected wrong. So don't worry about them, it's just these red ones. Okay, that's finished doing that. Now there are two options that we can do to upload. There's build and test, or there's build and publish. Now, I recommend you do build and test first because it creates kind of like a dummy avatar file just for you, and this is just for quick testing. It doesn't take as long, and it's not public to anyone. And when you're finished, you press build and publish, and then you can publish your avatar properly. So we'll build and test and see what it looks like. So left click on build and test. This usually takes about a minute. Depending on how complex your avatar is, the more complex it'll take a little bit longer. Okay, and test avatar built. We are done. Let's log into VR chat. Okay, we're in VR chat now, so I'm just gonna go into my menu, click avatar, and if you go down, oh wait, no, it's just started me right at the bottom. You've got your favorites at the top, you've got the ones that you've created here, and then below that you should have a tab which says other, and this is where your build and test avatars go. So you can see I've got a couple of here which I used for testing earlier. What we want is the pony underscore base underscore SDK3 underscore VR. Once again, apologies for the naming conventions. Left click that and then click change. And here we are. Not looking too bad. The lip sync seems to be working, and the eye tracking seems to be, well, eye tracking, the eye movement is working quite nicely. You can see the eyes are blinking and moving around a bit. And once again, you can play around with the sliders and those options to get it where you want it to. But yes, I'm actually quite pleased with this. So I think we can publish this, because once again, this is just a test avatar with the build and test option. What we want is build and publish, and then we can make it public and other people can use it. So let's build and publish. Okay, we're back in Unity again. So once again, in the VR chat SDK control panel, go down here to the right, and we want build and publish this time. Now this is a little bit more long-winded, so what we need to do is we need to create information about it, and we need to set up a like a little profile shot, like you see in the little pictures of avatars. When you select them, we need to set one of them up. And how this works is it creates a little camera for doing this, and it actually runs a little thing in the Unity game section of the editor. Okay, this is the publishing screen that you get once you select build and publish. So when I select a name, I'm going to call it pony underscore. For some reason, I don't know why, but the word or the name rather, Brook, springs to mind. Description. Solar Forge tutorial. Okay, content warnings. We don't have any nudity or sexuality. We don't have any blood or gore. We don't have any other NSFW or realistic violence. Let's see, it's private only. If you want to set it to public, this is for if you want to link it to Avatar pedestals, so like in the Avatar worlds. So that's that, and this is the profile image. Right now it's a little bit silly, but all we can do is you go back into scene, and then if we click onto the main camera, see we've got a preview here. If we just zoom out, oh, that's the one, sorry. We want VRC cam, and you can see the camera preview there, and that's what it uses for its profile pic. So we can drag this camera to get a better view. Like, 3/4 shot will probably be better, so we'll drag it there and then rotate. Click that little button up in the top left, switch to rotate, and then hover it over the green circle and click and drag. Actually, I think it needs to be around the other side actually, so we'll flick it back to here. Click that tool there, the arrowy star thing, and that will let you move it. And this is just me being pedantic now. I just like to get a good setup. A lot of people they actually create planes with image files on them, and that's how they get the better pictures for their profiles. But this is a nice basic easy one for us to do. So yeah, that's a bit better. So click on the game tab, and that takes us back to the information part. So I'm going to leave this as private, and let's see, upload image. Yep, pony underscore Brook. I'm happy with that. Actually, I'll just call it Brook. There we go, Brook. And click the above information is accurate, and I have a right to upload the content to VR chat, and then left click to upload, and then it will go through its upload process again, but it's a little bit more long-winded because it optimizes a few things, and it contacts VR chat and does some things properly. Okay, now that is done. Now let's go back into VR chat. So here I am back in VR chat. So we'll go back into the menu, Avatar, and you'll see under my creations, you'll see our new avatar is in there. So left click and then click change, and here we go. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it's useful to you. Once again, like, if you're having any problems, just take your time and go back and retrace your steps, rewatch the tutorial if you need to. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And just one thing to note, VR Chat is still in development. It's not a release game yet, so things can still change. And if there's anything that I notice changes, I will try my best to update this video as things change. But for the most part, things seem pretty stable at the moment, and I don't think they're going to change that vastly. So get out there and create some fun stuff. So thanks for watching, take care, and until next time, bye bye.